Welcome to my video once again. Today this video is going to be my 7th video on the chapter relational functions. In the last video already we have discussed about one-to-one mapping or injective mapping in detail with some suitable examples, right? I hope all of you have got some ideas about that, correct? Now today in this video we are going to learn about surjective mapping or one-to mapping in detail. First, let us understand what is the meaning of surjective mapping through the definitions. After that, we'll elaborate it. Suppose we are taking two sets as usual, A and B, and let f is a function which is going from A to B. Now the question comes, when this function f will be called surjective. First, look at the definition, what is told here. A function f from A to B is said to be onto or surjective if every element of B has at least one preimage in A. Again I am saying here this line is very important to understand. A function f will be surjective or onto if every element of B has at least one preimage in A. Right? Now let us understand it through the diagram. Now look at the diagram here. Suppose we are taking any element y in the B set. Now according to definition, to be surjective, y must have at least one preimage in A set. Right? In fact, y may have so many preimages in A, but somehow if you can check y has at least one preimage in A, then f will be called surjective, otherwise not. Otherwise means, suppose y has no preimage in A, in that case y will not be surjective. In that case f will not be surjective. That is the meaning of otherwise. Again I am saying from the first because it is very important to understand. If somehow you can prove y has at least one preimage in A, in that case f will be surjective. If y has no preimage in A, then f will not be surjective. Not surjective means it is the otherwise. Understood? It was the only definitions. But how to check it theoretically? Suppose a function will be given to you and you may be asked how to check its surjectivity. So in that case we need to know the method to check the surjectivity for a function, correct? We shall have two methods to check, method 1 and method 2. Now let us discuss every method one by one, correct? First let us come to method 1. According to method 1, if a function f simply follows its definition, then f will be surjective. Already we have narrated the definition right now. If a function simply follows its definition, it will be surjective. Now let us discuss again the definition. Suppose we are taking two sets as usual, A and B, and let us pick up element y from the B set. Let us pick up an element y from B set. To be surjective, y must have at least one preimage in A. That means I am trying to say, if somehow we can check y has at least one preimage in A, then f will be surjective, otherwise not. Suppose we are not getting any preimage of y in A, in that case f will not be surjective. That is the main statement of definitions. That is the main understanding of definitions. Understood? Now let us come to method 2. Method 2 is very easy to use. According to method 2, a function f will be surjective if its range is equal to its codomain. That means in this case, first we have to find the codomain and range, then compare. If you see both are equal, then f will be surjective. If they are not equal, they are not surjective. F is not surjective. Again I am saying about method 2. A function will be surjective if its range is equal to its codomain according to the method 2. That means in this case, first we have to find the codomain and range, then compare. If we see both are equal, then it will be surjective. If they are not equal, will not be surjective. Understood? We have to use the method 1 or method 2 according to the nature of problems. How to use method 1 or how to use method 2, it will be understood properly if you work out few examples. Correct? Now let us work out some examples here. Now let us look at the first example. What is told here? Let a function f such that n to n is defined by f is equal to x square for all x belongs to domain n. Now we have to check whether this f is surjective or not, means onto or not. Here, what is the n here? The set of all natural numbers. Here eventually domain is the natural number and codomain also is the natural number. Here domain and codomain both are natural number set. Now we need to check whether it is surjective or not. Understood? Now look at here how the function is defined here. F is equal to x square for all x belongs to domain natural numbers. All the x will be coming from where? Domain natural numbers. And we know to check the surjectivity, always we need to pick up the element from codomain set. So according to it, let us pick up any element from the codomain set. Let us pick up an element say 2 from codomain n. Correct? Let us pick up an element namely 2 from codomain set n. And you know every element of codomain set will be of the form fx. And we know every element of the codomain set will be of the form fx, or we can say y. Right? So write down here, every element of codomain will be of the form fx or y. So simply we can say 2 is equal to fx or y. Can you see or not? Now it becomes, and what was the fx here? X square, right? Y. Correct? Now let us change the side. Then it becomes y equal to x square equal to 2. Now let us omit y. No need to write y. Only write x square equal to 2. Because from here you have to find the value of x. If x square equal to 2, so we can say only x will be equal to root 2. Here no need to take plus minus for the square root. Only take the plus 1. It is sufficient. So ultimately here we got x equal to root 2. Here what is the x here? Here x is nothing but it is the preimage of y. Here x is nothing but it is the preimage of y. And what value I got? Root 2 eventually. So you can say here x is the preimage of y. Now what you got? Root 2 is the preimage of 2. Now you have to check this root 2 belongs to codomain natural number or not. If belongs, then you can say it is surjective. So here root 2 is the preimage of the 2. But what about root 2? Root 2 is the irrational numbers, does not belong to natural number. So instantly you can claim root 2 is not a preimage of 2. Once again I am saying, because it is very very important to take the decision. Ultimately we got root 2 is the preimage of 2. But root 2 does not belong to natural number. because it is the irrational numbers. So in that case we can say that root 2 is not a preimage of 2. So here if it's not surjective by method 1, here we are simply following the method 1. Firstly, we have chosen any element 2 from the domain natural number, codomain natural number, and we have seen that root 2 was the preimage of this 2, which does not belong to domain natural number. That means here root 2 is not a preimage of 2. That's why f is not surjective by method 1. You are not getting any preimage of 2 in domain natural numbers. That's why here f is not surjective. Understood or not? So I hope it will be understood properly again if you practice at home. Okay. Now look at the second example to be checked, to be verified. Let a function f such that R2 are defined by f is equal to modulus x for all x belongs to domain real numbers. So what is the R here? Here both are real numbers. Means here domain is the real number, also codomain is the real numbers. Now we have to check whether it is surjective or not. That means we have to check here modulus x is surjective or not. Okay, on 2 or not. Now first understand what is the meaning of modulus x. And we know always modulus x gives positive real numbers, right? Always modulus will give positive values for any values of x that we learned in class 11 if you remember. So likho, we know always mod x gives positive values for any x, right? We know always modulus x will give positive values for any values of x. So we can say the range of modulus x will be R plus. What is R plus? The set of all positive real values, real numbers. Okay. So here in this case the range of mod x will be R plus, the set of all positive real numbers. Now look at the codomain here. What is that? Real numbers. Here codomain is the real number set, and here we have seen the range is R plus. So both are not equal. Here codomain of modulus x is real numbers, and we have seen the range was R plus. So instantly we can say the codomain of mod x not equal to range of mod x, because R and R plus are not equal. R is the set of all real numbers. Here it is containing plus and minus all, but it is containing only plus numbers. That's why both are not equal. Again I am saying, what is the meaning of R here? It is containing all types of real numbers. It is containing negative as well as positive, but it is containing only positive real numbers. So they are not equal. So you can claim the range of mod x is not equal to codomains of x. The range and codomain both are not equal in the case of mod x. That's why mod x is not surjective. Mod x means fx. I have taken first. So mod x is not surjective. Here though, here you have simply followed method 2. Here we are simply following method 2. Understood or not? In that case, we have found first codomain, then find range, then compare. Then we have seen that both are not equal. So we can say it is not surjective by method 2. It is very easy method to use. Understand? Today I stop here. In this way, all the theory portions of the relation functions has been finished. In the next video, we shall be solving the exercise 1.1 and 1.2, right? So please keep on watching my videos, and please nowadays be safe, be healthy, and obviously stay home. Thank you very much.